तो स्टार्ट करते हैं सर, चले
स्टार्ट करूँ चलो.
So great afternoon once again. Welcome back on last webinar on GLP implementation process. So today I am introducing our master facilitator. So I welcome Dr. Pradeep Deshmukh sir. He is an expert trainer, coach, mentor, consultant. Dr. Pradeep Deshmukh sir, who is having 40 years of experience of working with contract research organization in India, who has instrumental in establishing GLP and ALAC accreditation. Sir has written some books on GLP and almost visit 11 countries also. So without wasting so much time, I welcome Dr. Pradeep Deshmukh sir once again, and please continue, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Akash, for your wonderful introduction, and thankful for your introduction over there. I know that since last, this is 12th webinar of GLP, which we are concluding today with implementation process over there. So we will first Akash introduced me, but for those who are not aware of me, I just wanted to give my introduction. Myself, self-introduction is always better. I am Dr. Pradeep Deshmukh. I am MSc PhD. I worked in Hafkin Institute because Hafkin Institute is a premier institute in India. Hello, please unmute yourself. Whoever is making noise, please unmute. Okay. So, work in Hafkin Institute, Mumbai for my PhD program from 1973 to 1978. And I am fortunate today, we have with us ex-director of Hafkin Institute, Dr. Nishigandha Naik, attending webinar over here. I am really blessed that she is attending this webinar over here. Thank you very much, madam, for your overwhelming response for my webinar for this purpose. I am responsible for development of J Research Foundation. Probably those who have heard of it. J Research Foundation is in Gujarat, and I was heading that. I joined in 1978 to 1996. I was working over there. So I was the first director of J Research Foundation, and now it has become a multinational company over there. So it is a full-fledged institute for research, training, and testing over there. And in between, I was in head of toxicology, Rallis Research Center, Bangalore. Now it is called Advinus. I was there for 6 years, heading their department of toxicology over there. And then again, I came back to J Research Foundation as a director of toxicology and pharma services in 2009, August 2001 and August 2000 up to 2009. I was there, and after attaining my 60 years of age, I took retirement from J Research Foundation. I came to Pune, but nobody will allow me to sit at home. My friends from Intox, they called me over there, and I was there for almost 1 year over there as a head toxicology over there. Then I was also working with Safford. It's in New Mumbai from January 2011 and June 2012. But it was so difficult for me to manage from Pune to Mumbai. So I was traveling every day from Pune to Mumbai. So I left that in June 2012. Obviously, then I was associated with Lupin Research Park, that is a research organization in Pune of Lupin Pharmaceuticals for their GLP and ALAC accreditation. So it was a successful journey for Lupin and for me also over there, and they got GLP and ALAC accreditation over there. And now I am working as a mentor and advisor, Pacific Toxicology Consulting, from July 2014 over there. So obviously it is a small consultancy, one man show over there, and I was doing offline programs so far. This online program we just started with Akash over there, because I am not well versed with this all technology over there, and Akash helped me for this, and I am thankful for Akash for bringing this webinar series to all of you over here. So Akash tells you every time what is my publication. So I just wanted to tell you I have published 54 research papers in national and international journals. I have edited 2 books on environmental risk assessment, environment and experimental toxicology. And this lockdown helped me a lot in publishing 3 books on GLP. So obviously, Principles of Good Laboratory Practice. This is the first book. Second book was Principles of Laboratory Research Animals. Because of laboratory animals facility is very, very important for all of us. I just wanted to throw some light on laboratory animal research facilities. So that's the reason I published this book for Principles of Laboratory Research Animals. And third book, which is very, very important for all of us over here, because I have experienced myself. Writing standard operating procedure is very, very difficult for most of us over there. Initially, when we started, it was finding for us very difficult to write standard operating procedure. And a major observation from GLP was writing standard operating procedure. That's the reason I thought that it is proper for me to have a book on standard operating procedures in preclinical toxicology. That's the reason this third book was published this year. These all 3 books are available on Amazon. You can definitely order from your this thing from Amazon. You can get these books over there. This is animal research over there, and this is third book is standard operating procedures over there. Now coming to GLP implementation, this is about me. Those who are not aware of me, because many of us, many of new participants are there today. For them, I just wanted to say my introduction over to them over there. So obviously, GLP implementation of will see it step by step. But let us have first insight about GLP implementation process. GLP implementation of OECD principles of good laboratory practice represent a significant challenge. It is not easy task for that matter. It is a very, very challenging task. It's a significant challenge for all of us. If those who are working in GLP, they will understand that. Implementation of GLP is a stepwise process, and we will go through all these steps over there and understand how we can implement GLP in our organization. Those who are interested in implementing GLP, for them it will be most suitable for them. So top GLP implementation, as I told you, it's not that top management should not be involved in day-to-day business of implementation process. Uh, they are supposed to facilitate the process. They are not supposed to involve themselves in implementation process. They should facilitate over there. And we need to identify a team leader. Who is the team leader? He will take care of all implementation process. But we need to identify somebody who is a team leader for that matter, who should get support from all team members, and he or she should have access to all departments. It's not that one department. You need to define where you want to get your GLP accreditation. That's the reason whatever departments you want to get involved into GLP, you need to support the team leader for that matter. Although he or she may not be from your department, but you need to support them. Project team should draw a stepwise timelines for all the activities. So whatever activities are lined up over there, you must have a stepwise timelines over there for that. First of all, you need to have a gap analysis of the organization. That is very, very important. What is there and what is not there, you need to understand that, and what are the shortfalls, what are the additional compliances you need to add to the facility. You need to have a gap analysis over there, and this gap analysis can be done by a NGCMA, or maybe there are consultant available. You can also have hire consultant for that matter. And then project team should jointly agree on the priorities of the tasks necessary to achieve GLP compliance, because team manager is very, very important, and project team, you should make a project team for that matter. And it is necessary to evaluate the progress by organizing monthly meetings and to get updates on the task, because unless and until you have meeting and get updates from everyone over there, you may not progress properly. That is very, very important for all of us to understand. Unless and until you meet and share your progress in GLP implementation, it becomes very easy for us to go ahead with the implementation process. So the team has to investigate tasks not completed on time. That is what is there. That is what I told you over there. Obviously, you need to find out what is left out and what is you have done. So whatever is done, it's okay. Whatever is not done, you need to focus on that. And based on this, in team, you must decide who will understand this and who will take it further over there. And communication should be on to one basis. It is not that you just discuss in a meeting and forget about that. No, communication should be on one-to-one basis, because left hand should know what is right hand is doing. That the reason in GLP implementation, you all should work together. Then only it is possible. This is what I have experienced myself. That the reason I am sharing with you over here. So major milestones are study plan, raw data, SOP, instrumentation, quality assurance, draft, and final report. Finally, your product is final report. So obviously, you need to find out these are major milestone, and you need to focus on these aspects of GLP over there. And quality assurance, start auditing and inspecting. That is what is there. Quality assurance should start auditing and inspecting. Test facility management meets all staff periodically until the project is completed. That's the reason, although they are not day to day involved themselves in GLP implementation process, but they should periodically be uh, getting all information from team, what is the progress made during the implementation process over there. The project is completed, or how far you have progressed over there. So let us understand stepwise process. Whatever I told you is a general, but we will discuss stepwise. The step one over there is arrange general GLP training for all staff, highlighting principles of GLP, because GLP requires that GLP, OECD GLP should be the foremost for all of us over here. So obviously GLP training has to be organized over there. And most importantly, you must discuss your organization chart. So in organize, you need to construct your organization chart. Who is the test facility management, who is quality assurance, who is your support services, who is toxicology head, who is whatever departments you want to add into your organization, you must bring them into your organization chart, and start constructing organization chart for that matter. And identify and train study directors, quality assurance, and most importantly archivist, because archivist is a very important person in GLP. So obviously archivist training is also very, very important for that matter. So prepare standard formats for personal documents like CV formats, curriculum vitae format. It should be a standard format in your facility. There is no standard available in any guideline for that matter. But you need to have your CV format in your organization, so that you can use the same format for everybody. It should be formatted, approved by test facility management, and use that for your people over there. And similarly, like CV, you should also have a job description for everyone. What is the job that particular person will be undertaking in your facility? while you will be a GLP organization. So that has to be there. You must describe that. And then third most important thing, training, because as you know that GLP audits and GLP audit always gives observation training is inadequate. So obviously, although whatever training you give, that is insufficient for all of us over there. So give more emphasis on training. So training records has to be built for every individuals in the organization over there, and make sure person concerned sign their CVs and training records as well as by their immediate supervisor. This is very, very important. Your immediate supervisor also should sign that. All formats should be verified by quality assurance and approved by test facility. Don't forget that quality assurance should be in a focus point, and they should be verifying every document in your facility over there. So it should be verified by quality assurance whether the format is as per OECD GLP principles or not. And finally, it should be approved by test facility management. Don't forget that. Start writing SOP for CV and its update, because it's not just format. So you need to have your SOP for your CV and job description, organization chart, and personal documents. Whatever documents you are generating or creating for GLP, you must have a standard operating procedure for that. Start writing that in step one itself. Define who will be responsible for SOP management. Maybe quality assurance. I'm just saying maybe quality assurance. But if at all you have document control department in your or you want to create document control, that is always good. Document control can monitor SOP management system for this, because it is a quality management system and it should be managed by somebody who is authorized for that matter. So SOP system demands time, resources, planning, and follow up, because all SOPs will not be ready at one given point of time. So obviously, this is a dynamic system, and in dynamic system, your SOPs will be revived, will be reformatted, or your reaffirm. All whatever is happening with SOP, it should be with planning over there, and it requires a lot of time, resources over there. First, write SOP for SOP. SOP for SOP is very, very important. So obviously, first you have to write SOP for SOP over there, and then covering definitions in which SOP are identified, like for your ecotox department, toxicology department, quality assurance, reviewed by quality assurance, and approved by test facility management. Don't forget that why I am repeating all this, because it has to be there. Don't forget that. Write SOP for archiving process, giving details of archiving, because I said archiving is very, very important. So obviously you need to have SOP for archiving, give a thought for that, and write SOP for archiving over there. So archiving is restricted entry, because I am giving some hints for you to write whatever is there. Archiving is a restricted entry. Only authorized person can enter. Make sure visits to archiving is recorded. Ensure environmental conditions are adequate. Establish security arrangement, because security of archiving is very, very important. So obviously security arrangement. What is the security arrangement you are having for your archiving in your facility has to be there. So write SOP for content, layout, and format for study plan. Now we are coming towards the study plan. We are now trying to find out how study plan should be in GLP. So obviously, what is the content over there? What is the layout for that matter? What is the format of study plan? You should also discuss among your teammate, and prepare study plan template for that matter. Prepare a template for that study plan considering OECD GLP principles. Whatever GLP principle, there is a document on that. You can go through that document, and based on that document, you should also have your template for study plan ready beforehand. The template will act as a detailed guidance document for the study director. Please make sure that you use templates in your facility. Don't use the prepared study plan for your copying, paste, and cut and paste gives lot of problems. Obviously, avoid cut and paste in your facility. That's the reason I am just giving you that use templates every time. Don't use the prepared study plan and from that you prepare your another study plan. That system is very very bad, let me tell you, and lot of issues arise from that. So most of the observations from NGCMA are just from cut and paste things over there. So obviously avoid cut and paste in your facility over there. Keep as a reference OECD consensus document on short-term studies. There is a short-term studies consensus document. You can read that, and based on this, you can prepare your content and layout and format from your for study plan. Trained study direction. Now we have trained your quality assurance. We have trained CV. We have prepared CVs. We have organized organization chart. Now training of study director is very very important. Study directors for their special roles and responsibilities in GLP, because study director is a focal point, single point person. That the reason study directors are very very important for that matter. Even sponsors will directly deal with study directors, and even if at all you have any regulatory issues, obviously the regulators will also try to find out from study directors what is that he has done in the study. So obviously study director is sole responsible for conducting the study over there. So write SOP on workflow. What will be the workflow in your facility if at all a study is placed in your facility? So you must have a workflow for that matter. For example, writing, review, amendment, distribution, and archiving. So all the steps over there you must consider and have a workflow of activity in your facility. That will help you in going through smooth flow of your activities over there. Training may be in-house or by expert from outside over there. It is always better to have in-house because many staff can be trained at a given point of time. That is what I always recommend. You must have in your facility, you conduct your training program instead of sending one or two people for training. So you can organize for all the staff members at one given point of time. It in one go you can train number of people over there. Include quality assurance review in study plan over there. So obviously quality assurance will review every document. I told you about that. So how to forget about study plan? So study plan has to be reviewed by quality assurance over there. Prepare study plan template for, I told you about this, for almost all types of studies. Get them reviewed by college. Whatever studies you are conducting or you want to conduct in your facility, every study will have a study plan template. Say for example, acute oral rat, acute dermal rat, maybe skin irritation, eye irritation, whatever is there, sensitization, or maybe your ecotox studies, Daphnia study or algae study or fish study, whatever is there, you must have templates according to your studies. Whatever studies you want to conduct in your facility, you should have study plan templates for that matter. Write SOP for content layout and format of reports for the studies performed in the organization. That's what I told you about this. Template will act as a detailed guidance document for study directors. That will be guidance for study director to write this thing. Consider approach suggested in OECD consensus document on short term. I told you that you must always refer documents. Why I'm referring every time document? Because these are guidelines. These are not documents to be used for your purpose for that matter. These are guidelines, and guidelines will tell you how do you how to work. They will say about the use 5 males 5 females for study. So obviously that is there, that is a guideline over there. But where from you will get 5 males 5 females, how they will be there, how you will inspect them for their health status, and how you will select, what are the randomization procedure, all this has to be documented in your SOP over there. Write SOP for workflow. I told you for writing, review, approval, distribution, and archiving of reports with quality assurance. Even for reports, you should have. I told you about workflow of activities. Here, workflow of archiving up to reports. That also you can have workflow ready for that matter. Now, coming to step three. Step three writes SOP for identification of equipments and instrument. Step three is focusing on instrumentation over there. So obviously, what are the instrument you are going to use in your GLP facility? You must identify the equipments and instruments over there, and identification numbers will be used for raw data collection to ensure the traceability to operational such as calibration and maintenance over there. So obviously, identification number should be given to all the instruments over there. Maybe it is a simple pH meter, but identification number has to be there, because when you use that particular instrument, you have to write your identification number into your raw data. That's the reason very important for all of us to understand that every instrument will have a ID for that matter. We call it ID, that is identification number over there. uh, the list of all equipments and instruments used in the laboratory, you should prepare that. Whatever instruments you are going to use for your GLP, you must prepare a list of that laboratory. It is advisable to prepare list section wise or department wise. That is very very important, because you may not miss, because which section is having which instrument, you can make out very easily from this list. So obviously, if at all you have a section over there or a department over there, whatever is there, so you must prepare list based on your section and department of all equipments and instrument used in your facility. Physically identify equipments and instrument as per the label attached to it. Physically you need to identify where is that instrument, because location also you are giving, so that is always better to have that. Write SOP for logbooks for equipment and instrument as well as its life cycle. As I told you that all instrument, when you use them, you are supposed to have their logbook. It should be besides the instrument, always there. And who is the custodian of that instrument, it has to be mentioned in the logbook over there. So obviously it is very important, because for calibration and its maintenance is very very important as far as GLP is concerned. GLP will look into that. So obviously you need to have logbook for that. If at all your pH meter is not working for maybe a few days over there, so why it was not working, you need to mention in your logbook. And when it was repaired, that also has to be there. And during that period, GLP inspectors will check whether you have used that instrument or not. So that is for tracking over there. For GLP inspectors, they will track that. Records of all anomalies and corrective actions undertaken on equipment and instrument should be there over there. Define in SOP its maintenance schedule. I told you about this for all equipments and instrument. Calibration and maintenance has to be defined in your SOP itself. Consider qualification of performance during installation to prove that its function according to specification. So performance qualification has to be there in place over there when you are installing your instrument in your facility. For animal facility, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, that is called HAVC, should be qualified in animal rooms. So obviously, you need to maintain your temperature, air, and relative humidity over there. Obviously, this has to be monitored properly, and it has to be validated over there. In microbiology, we use laminar flow over there. So obviously, laminar flow also should be qualified, should be calibrated, should be maintained properly. Specialized contractors can be used, which is cost effective over there. So obviously, if at all you cannot do it yourself, you can have a or supplier can help you in this over there. So they will give annual contracts to you, so you can maintain your instrument uh, based on this calibration over there. You can decide which maintenance or qualification operation requires external vendor. You can decide, because like I told you that pH meter you can calibrate yourself over there, or there are certain instrument like pH meter, burette, pipettes, or maybe test tube or measuring cylinders. You can qualify yourself, or if you want, you can also have them calibrated by external vendor. Signed contract should be available as document for verification. If at all you have that external vendor, then you must have a signed contract with them over there, because that will be asked by GLP inspectors. Decide qualification time frame in your SOP, normally 6 months to 1 year. Sorry, you need to qualify your instrument based on your requirement. Maybe I am just suggesting, maybe some instruments will be with 6 months duration, or maybe for some instrument for 1 year for that matter. uh, if it is possible, prepare qualification protocol and formal report accordingly. It is possible, you can have that, because documentation is very very important as far as GLP is concerned, and you can keep a document for qualification protocol and formal report according to your need over there. Now coming to step 4, it is very very important. Step 4 is very important, and the guideline number is also 4 for quality assurance. Establish quality assurance unit. You must have quality assurance program in your facility. You must write a paragraph or maybe one page write up on what type of quality assurance you are looking into your facility. So obviously this quality assurance unit should be established in your facility. You may have one or two persons over there. You can also have one person. That's okay. If at all you have two-person, that is also good for you, because GLP wants a backup for that matter. So obviously if two persons are there, it is always better. Test facility management should issue separate notification of and define roles and responsibilities of quality assurance, because that is a quality assurance is a because they will directly reporting to test facility management. So obviously there should be a notification saying that you have quality assurance unit, and this person will be quality assurance person in your facility. Over there, you must have that notification from test facility management. This is explained in OECD principles of GLP and its consensus document on quality assurance and GLP. Quality assurance should be independent, not involving studies and directly reporting to test facility. I told you that GLP requires that quality assurance never should be involved in any activity of the study, GLP study in your facility. Obviously they should be independent of study over there. Sorry. Now, training of quality assurance person to audit inspection and techniques, because maybe you are new to this, you need to have some quality assurance training over there for quality assurance personnel. What how they will do the inspection technique, or training can be internal or external. It is always good to have external training, internal training. If at all you are somebody who is trained in quality assurance, you can also have that. Uh, for your information, NGCMA organizes such programs over there for quality assurance and study directors. You can look for that, and you can attend that NGCMA program from NGCMA for quality assurance and for study directs. Both they organize. So once in a year they organize. You have to look into that and find out when they are organizing. Based on this, you can send your people to attend that program over there, because quality assurance, one person, two-person, you can send definitely to Delhi to get them trained. Quality assurance program based on 3 inspections, because quality assurance program they do uh, 3 inspections: study based inspection, facility based inspection, and process based inspection. So obviously you should write SOP for this, for all the functions of quality assurance over there. And audit report should be given to study directors and managers. how you should write your audit report, that is also a art for that matter. And writing audit report, giving action taken report from the people like study directors or whoever is responsible for that particular activity, you are supposed to get action taken report from them. So obviously not only ngcma, because internally you should have that practice with you from study directors, and management should be aware what is happening with audit reports and all this. That the reason quality assurance should also be giving the information to test facility management over there. Now coming to step 5, uh, very important. For that only we are all here over there. That is test atom control office. This is very very important because uh, it is subjected for the study. Test atom is subjected for the study. Obviously, that is the central point wherein we all are working for GLP. Define rules for the receipt, identification, handling, and storage of all test atoms, reagents, and reference atoms. Because you must have somebody who is responsible for this to note all this, what is happening with your test atom over there, when it was received, what is the identification, what is the handling process, what is the storage conditions you are supposed to store them in your facility. Everything should be planned properly over there. All test items need to be uniquely identified and characterized in your system, because normally unique identification should be given. There should not be complete name of the test atom or sponsor's name on the your identification over there. You can code it, and then you can decode it while you are making your final report for that matter. So handling test atoms, reference atoms, reagents, and other chemicals, consider safety factors over there. Whatever chemicals you are handling in the facility, you must consider safety factor. You must have risk assessment in place over there. You must find out what is the risk if at all you handle this test atom or reagents or maybe chemicals. Obviously everything is important for all of us over here. Please ensure there is no cross contamination, and establish stability and homogeneity of formulation prepared for the dosing, because you need to mention that if at all you say that you are preparing a formulation which is 100 ppm, whether it is 100 ppm or 98 ppm or 102 ppm, you need to mention that. You cannot have 100 ppm every time. You cannot make a formula. If at all you are doing serial dilution, I am sure it will not be 100 ppm most of the time over there. So obviously you need to find out what is the stability and homogeneity of that particular formulation when you prepare your formulation for dosing to the animals. Establish how to determine the shelf life of reagents and reference item, because you need to mention its expiry date over there. So when it is expiring, what are the reagents you are preparing, you must have that. You must determine the shelf life of that particular reagent or solution, whatever it is. Write SOP for labeling of all test items, solution, reagents, and reference items. There is lot of halagulla happened once during one of the inspection over there, because you have a chemical over there, you have purchased that, you kept it in your facility, and you open after 1 year, and then you give the expiry date after 2 years. That will not be possible for making that possible for you, because GLP inspectors would like to know when you are opening, when you are purchased, what is the shelf life given on the bottle, and when you are giving your expiry date. They will check that everything over there. uh, that is their job to check, because they are policing. Obviously police has to find out whether you are going into wrong direction or not, in a wrong lane. So obviously you need to make sure that you are on a right track over there. Fix rules regarding dates on the bottles of common reagents, and a date mentioned on the bottle by the manufacturers, because manufacturers will give dates, and what is the date you are opening, what is the date it is going to expire, you need to mention in your bottle, reagent bottles over there. define rules and write SOP for preparation of solution and dose formulation, because SOP should be there, but I suggest that for dose formulation you should have a format, and when you prepare any reagents or any solution for that matter, you give the date and what is that you have prepared for that matter should be given into that format. That is always better to have that format with you, so that whatever formulation and this thing you are preparing, that will be there, and it is labeled based on your formulation report over there. Although each formulation will be prepared in its own way, the SOP should clearly describe the way in which preparation is documented. So obviously, I told you that if at all you have format, you can write everything how you have prepared your solution or reagents, that has to be given into this. Obviously, how much you have weighed, how much you have used solvent, how much you have added, everything should be there in your document over there. It is compulsory to determine stability and homogeneity of dose formulas. I told you about this. I will not touch upon that in more details. Step 5, define rules for the receipt identification, handling, quarantine, husbandry, and all test systems. So now I am focusing on your animal systems over there, test systems. So obviously, you must identify your animals, identification, handling, quarantine, husbandry, all test systems, whatever test systems you are using, you must have all this in place over there. Maybe sometimes you are using bacteria for Ames test, or maybe cell lines for your chromosomal aberration test, whatever. So obviously you need to identify them, you need to how you are identifying, how you are handling, how you are quarantine, or how you are making passage, how you are reculturing, subculturing, all this has to be there in this place. Please follow CPSC norm for care and welfare of animals. If at all you are handling animals, you need to follow CPSC norms. There is no way out of that. So obviously you need to follow CPCSA norms. All study plans should be approved by ISC. So whatever study plan you are making using your animals, it should be approved by CPCSCA. That approval number should be given in your study plan. All animals must be uniquely identified. So animal identification system is again very important aspect as far as we are all concerned. Animal identification, because now picric acid is not allowed to be used over there. We have used for long time. Obviously now picric acid, no one is allowing you to use picric acid. So obviously, what is that alternative, you need to find out. Nowadays animal identification systems are available in the market. You can have animal identification, or maybe non-toxic ink pens are also available, you can identify. But when you are using this type of thing, you need to repeatedly identify the animals over there, because the ink pen will not stay for a long time, not more than a week for that matter. Obviously, you every week you need to identify animal. If at all you have animal identification system, once you give the identification number, it will last for forever for that matter, until the animal is sacrificed for that matter. So where test systems are not animals, then define characterization of the system, like as I told you, that cell lines, bacteria for M test, genotyping, or should be established over there. So obviously step 5 is for defining for your uh, test systems over there. So you need to identify, define how you are receiving, how you are identifying, how you are handling. All this has to be there in step 5. Now coming to step 6, very important. As I told you, the definition of GLP is give lots of paper. So obviously define your raw data in all operational units with how to record raw data, because raw data is very important, because based on raw data only, what is definition of GLP? Plan, perform, record, report, all this is there. So obviously when you are recording anything in your raw data, you need to define how you are recording your raw data in your formats. Define rules for the acquisition, modification, and approval of raw data. You need to acquire the data, you need to modify data, because you need to analyze the data. So and approval of raw data has to be mentioned in your SOP. Raw data may be handwritten. However, you need to define the way it is recorded. Laboratory notebooks or approved format, I suggest don't use notebooks because notebooks will be very heavy to archive. So I suggest you use approved formats only, because in some facilities still they are using notebooks. So obviously notebooks will be very difficult to archive. That the reason formats is very easy to use it, and file it in your files over there. Some raw data may be printed from equipment and direct printout through computerized system. Method for signing and storing data must be established, because all data must be signed and dated. Because signed and dated is very very important as far as data recording is concerned. Whoever is recording has to sign and record, give the dates over there. So this is very important as far as GLP is concerned. So you need to define that in your raw data. System chosen must be ensure a complete audit trial for modification, because audit trial is very very important. Define verification of data. You must have QC checks before quality assurance audit, because QC is different than quality assurance. Don't get confused with quality control and quality assurance. Quality assurance is different than quality control. Quality control has to be done by you and me, and quality assurance is done by quality assurance unit. So obviously quality assurance is very very important, but quality control, because if at all you are having a microtome and you are cutting a slide which is of 3 micron, so obviously you need to find out whether your slide is really 3 micron or not. If at all you are staining your slide, whether that slide is stained properly or not, so obviously you need to find out through quality control measures only. So obviously this has to be in place before quality assurance audits this over there. Write SOP on verification of quality control work. That is also there in you need to find out wherever it is required. You need to ensure the quality over there. So you need to have quality control, and you need to have SOP for that quality control verification. Verification of data by someone within operational unit is essential. There should be defined quality control for checking of data before adding to report. These steps should be defined in SOP and followed by staff of all operational units. This is very, very important because all operational units should follow meticulously this quality control checks. Now coming to step 7. We are all habituated now. There are no typewriters. We are all using computer systems in our organization. So obviously there is a special document on using computers in the organization, or especially in the GLP, OECD GLP, there is a document number 17 over there. So obviously it tells you how to use computer systems in your facility over there. List all computer systems used in your organization. So those who are not gone through the document number 17, I am just giving some highlights over there. You must have whatever computers you are using for your data entry, or maybe data analysis, maybe preparing your study plan, maybe preparing for your study report. You need to have list of computers. They should be dedicated systems for GLP work. It should not be mixed up with all your systems. No emails will be allowed in your system when you are using for GLP system over there. Define which system require formal validation, because validation is very very important for computer systems. Define what systems require formal validation. Systems which have an impact on quality and integrity of preclinical studies should be validated first. Use consensus document. I told you that's the consensus document 17 on computerized system. Write SOP for the validation process with document, because what validation you will be doing for computer system, what software is there, what hardware is there, what is the peripherals you are using, whether it is automatic, who is custodian of that system, what is the you need to change your password very frequently. Everything should be there in your SOP over there, or validation over there. You must give that into your validation. Quality assurance IT personnel may assist in writing the protocol for validation. I'm just saying protocol for validation. But please note that responsibility lies with system owner. Whoever is using, as I told you, custodian, whoever is using that particular system, he is responsible for that. Of course, you can take a help from quality assurance and IT person for that matter. And supplier of the system may provide you a template protocol for the system. If at all your supplier is good enough, and he can also give you a template for protocol for system validation. Remember to include validation tests to ensure that backup system functions and that assess security, for example, password is inadequate. So conduct the validation testing following the validation protocol. So obviously, when you have protocol, you must conduct the study. So validation testing has to be done. Remember that final responsibility lies with user who should ensure that systems that he or she uses is validated. As I told you, that individual whoever is using, that is the final responsibility of that person, he or she, maybe whoever is there. So he is responsible for that, whether it is validated or not validated over there. Write formal validation report for the validated system. These reports should be signed off by person responsible for systems and reviewed by quality assurance. Train all staff in the use of computer system, because most of the facilities I have seen now, uh, anybody is doing that. Online training programs are happening over there. Obviously everybody is using computers, so everybody should be trained how to use computers in a GLP system, because GLP system is different than using your computers for day to day use. It is different than using your computers in GLP system. It is for GLP system only, not for anything else. As I'm telling you repeatedly, make sure that whatever computer system you are using in GLP, it should be for GLP use only, not for any other use. Not for writing emails, not for communicating, not for browsing. Nothing should be there in that. Write SOP for use and maintenance of computer system. That is again there, like your instruments, maintenance and calibration. Obviously your maintenance of computer system should be there, because every time you have updated version and you have to maintain your computer system well in place. So obviously you need to have SOP for that. Once the validation and training are completed, you can release the system for use. Once that is done, you can release the system for use, or to the custodian or the owner, whoever is there, and you can do this validation in house or hire any specialized contractor to qualify these systems. Whether validation you do in house or outside, you can do that, probably, but basically, if at all you have in-house person, that is always good over there. Or you can get it contracted outside vendors and get it qualified for that matter. Define the organizational rules for access rights and passwords. Write SOP for this process. So what is the access you are giving, what are the access rights you are giving that particular person, you must have that in SOP. Usual to have centralized IT department responsible for establishing and issuing access rights, and password should be changed at defined frequency. So obviously the GLP wants that every 3 months you change your password. So obviously you need to have somebody who can monitor this in your facility over there. Now, coming to step 8, probably this is the last step. Quality assurance to review all SOPs and assist in preparation of SOP list, because you have written all SOPs for all the activities. What is stepwise? I have just told you about this. So you need to have a list of all SOPs over there. Prepare SOP list department wise or section wise, whatever you have. You need to draw up a schedule to complete SOPs with name of the author and qualification review with test facility management approval. This is very, very important, because author who is writing is there, he should be knowledgeable writing SOP, and quality assurance should review that, and test facility management should approve that. Now in step 8, so we are coming to end over there. So obviously establish master schedule is very very important as far as GLP is concerned. NGCMA will give lot of emphasis on having master schedule of your own over there for all ongoing studies in the organization. Decide who should manage master schedule. You should decide who is managing master schedule, because master schedule will be reviewed by quality assurance, and it is a document, very very important document you need to send to the NGCMA before your with your application for that matter. Write SOP regarding management and maintenance of master schedule. How you are managing master schedule, you should have your SOP in place over there. Like project wise, step wise, project task, GLP implementation, list of equipments, department wise, I told you, toxicology, histopathology, clinical pathology, setup calibration record, like prepare logbook formats, balancer, pH meter, thermometers, micropipette, and whoever is the responsible person over there, and what is the due date, and what is the status. You must have that thing should be discussed in monthly meetings, and get going with your project over there. So obviously, GLP implementation process becomes very easy for us to handle all the aspects of GLP, because it is a very critical job as far as we all are concerned, and you make sure that everything fall in line over there. Now perform gap analysis. We have done gap analysis in the beginning. Now at the end, we need to again do gap analysis and find out whatever we have discussed at the beginning of the GLP implementation process, where we are at this point of time. So we need to analyze that. We need to analyze, do the gap analysis again to determine any shortfalls in GLP compliance. So whatever we have discussed, and whether there is any gap, whether we have left out something, we need to again do the gap analysis for that matter. Draw action plan to address these issues. Obviously, you need to have action plan, whatever gap you found in your analysis. So based on this, you need to find out, finish that job once for all. Once you are satisfied with addressing issues, declare GLP compliance in your report. So obviously, you need to say that my facility is now ready for GLP. Obviously, once you say that, now you perform one or two studies over there as per GLP compliance over there. You are still not GLP, but whatever GLP compliance you have implemented, you need to conduct one or two studies in your facility as per GLP compliance. Whatever GLP compliance I have discussed so far, it has to be done based on that compliance over there. And now you download your application for NGCMA site, and write your application and send your application to NGCMA along with the documents, whatever documents are required as per application over there. And inspection will be taken place within 6 months. Probably I'm just giving rough idea. I can't guarantee you within 6 months, or maybe 4 months or 3 months, or maybe more than 6 months. So once you apply to NGCMA, they will decide your inspection dates, and they will inform you about that. But normally, my experience goes within 6 months, and they will inform you about your inspection of your facility. There. Now, I'm just wanted to discuss some important riders for consideration. Anybody has any questions up till this, or shall I continue? Okay. Now we will discuss about important riders for consideration. Personnel, as I told you, that personnel are very very important as far as GLP is concerned. The actual existence of personnel meeting the GLP roles and responsibilities, including adequate personnel and required training, education, and experience uh, for test facility management, study director, and quality assurance unit should be in place. This is an important rider over there. You must have all these people available over there. Like study director, I told you that facilities required to have qualified study director that has ultimate responsibility for conduct of non-clinical study. So should be qualified. should be trained, should be experienced study director who can conduct non-clinical study in your facility. This is an important rider for all of us over there. So you must identify the study directors in your facility. Now, quality assurance. I told you quality assurance unit. There is a operational quality assurance unit should be in your facility with a defined independent role relative to study director, and verify that there are written procedure requiring the quality assurance audit the facility and specific studies on routine basis. So obviously this is a routine job. Quality assurance should make sure, quality assurance should assure to the management that you are following OECD GLP principles or not. This is not only test facility management, quality assurance should assure to the GLP inspectors that your test facility is having OECD GLP principles, or you are uh, performing as per OECD GLP principle. This is very, very important aspect as far as quality assurance unit is concerned, and this is one of the important rider for consideration. Facilities. Facilities should be adequate over there. As I told you, that testing facilities to determine whether there are adequate animal care facilities, animal supply facilities, and areas for handling test and control items, viable laboratory operations areas, and specimens and data storage facilities. These facilities are very, very important. Data storage means archiving. So obviously archiving is very, very important in GLP. So these facilities minimum should be available. In addition to testing facilities, assure that there are dose analysis laboratories. 1 minute. Or if at all you are doing bioanalysis over there, for that matter, you must have bioanalytical laboratory, separate areas for euthanasia, necropsy, biochemistry, histology, histopathology, urine analysis, formulation room for preparation of reagent and solution, and ensure that all these comply with established standard operating procedure. So obviously these facilities should be there, your laboratory should be there, animal health monitoring laboratory should be also there, because when you are necropsy in biochemistry, they will take care of that. Now coming to sixth rider, very, very important rider, equipment. Determine the documentation exists for installation and validation of equipment, computers and software programs, and that system meet predefined design requirements for intended use. I am just using computers and software programs. In some facilities for data analysis, we are using uh, programs over there that has to be validated. Of course, there is a inbuilt validation over there, but you need to validate that software in your facility over there. So obviously validation has to be done for any program, software program you are using, for any data analysis for that matter. So obviously equipments are very, very important. You must have list of equipment, list of computers available for sending it to NGCMA. Now, very important rider, standard operating procedure. We must discuss in length on this. Ensure that test facility is operating under the established written SOPs addressing all sections and departments for that matter. Most importantly, make sure that only current SOPs are available. For activity being performed, because GLP inspectors will look for what activity you are performing and whether that activity SOP is in place in your room or not. So obviously this is very, very important, and many a times there is an observation from NGCMA that uh, the you know revised SOP is not there, and old SOP you are using for that matter. So obviously that condition should not have. You must be very careful in having that situation in your facility. Please see to that which are not active should be taken out and destroyed. I told you that because you don't have to archive again, you need to destroy your all SOPs, but there should be a document for that. You have collected all SOPs, whatever revised SOPs are in place, and whatever you are revised, that SOP should be taken out from the facility over there. GLP inspector wants a documented evidence that employees have been trained in their assigned SOPs to allow them to carry out their assigned job responsibility. This is a very, very important rider as far as we are all concerned. They will check with your SOP whether you are working as per your SOP or not. With all that's the reason they want to see you are in action. Now, the eighth rider is reagents and solution. We all discussed, but just for your information, again, I am refreshing you with the requirements. Reagents and solution. This is very important area which is reviewed by GLP inspectors for non-clinical laboratory test facility. Written procedure should support reagent and solution expiration, labeling requirement, and based on sound scientific principle. GLP inspectors will always look for reagents and solution whether out of expiration or not. They will look for that. Their eyes will be just looking into your facility whether any solution and reagents is having expiry date or not. Animal care, again, an important rider. This is an area scrutinized by GLP inspector to assure that GLP compliance is established and being followed, ensuring critical areas such as segregation of animal species, animal health monitoring, water, feed, meet established written procedure. Because water, feed, and bedding material should be analyzed for contamination analysis. That should be in place in your animal facility over there. So you need to have very important aspect of getting water, feed, and bedding material analyzed once in a year for contamination analysis, not your content analysis. I am saying contamination analysis. So contamination analysis with pesticides and heavy metal should be established. Now the 10th rider is test control atom, because that is very, very important. I told you, because for that we are all here. So obviously test atom under the safety investigation in the test system has required strength, purity, potency. You must have to establish that. If you don't have, then you ask your sponsor to give you a certificate of analysis for that matter. Formulated test atom in the vehicle remains stable through the in life dosing period. Study plan. Now, most important rider again here, study plan. Ensuring overall compliance to the non-clinical study plan is the key activity during GLP inspector. Uh, they will also review any amendments and deviation that occurred through the study and make assessment on the impact of the study. Whether you have any amendment there, if at all you have amendment, they will check that. Whether there are any deviations, they will check that. And based on this, what is the impact of your amendment? What is the impact of your deviation? They will check, and based on this, they will see to that your study plan is okay or not. Now, coming to study conduct, GLP inspectors would like to determine whether study director was designated by study facility test facility management, and that study director complied with the required SOPs and study plan. Because study conduct is very important activity, they will want to virtually go and see your study conduct, and they will find out whether you are working as per standard operating procedure and as per your study plan or not. So this is very, very important as far as study conduct is concerned. This is very important, rider. You must keep it in mind before implementation of your GLP in your facility. Records and reports, improper archiving of records, specimens, including lack of records, archiving, labeling, or their identification will be reviewed by GLP inspector. Now, the last rider, very, very important. I have seen in many places that this is happening over there. Labs who claim GLP for regulatory purpose should ensure that GLP facilities are not used for training students, because GLP facility is not for training students and carrying out PhD work. Open access for GLP labs to students cannot be permitted. This is what is given in GLP over there. It is a very important rider as far as we are all concerned. Now, there are some NGCMA advisories I just wanted to share with you for your information, so that we become fully aware of what NGCMA expect from all of us over there before inspection. So SOP do not have sufficient information. That is most important observation from NGCMA. And they say, NGCMA say, truncated and shortened SOPs only citing reference of OECD reference document are not acceptable. So you must have your SOPs giving all the details in your SOP. It cannot be just shortened and giving reference of something. Whatever activity you perform, based on this, you must have your SOP in place. Now, second observation, some facility do not have study specific SOPs as they feel that test guidelines cover this aspect. Because many of us, we feel that test guideline is there. So you said that 5 males, 5 females to be selected. Yes, I have selected 5 males, 5 females, but that is not enough for NGCMA. Even if test guideline exists, the specific methods adopted in test facilities have to be given in detail in the facility SOP. So obviously your SOP should be in detail. Guidelines are there. I told you guidelines for just for guidelines. They are not your SOPs. So obviously don't get confused with guidelines with SOPs over there. That's the reason I attempted to write a book on SOP over there, and it is in with Amazon. You can have that copy from them. Uh, in some facility terminology, this is very important, please keep it in mind. In some facility terminology and definitions are either as per EPA or FDA or GLP. So many times we get confused about this. So obviously you write terminologies which is given in EPA or given in FDA guidelines over there, but NGCMA follows OECD guidelines. So OECD GLP only terminology should be as per OECD GLP only. However, if other terminology is required due to business compulsions, then they should be defined as synonyms in SOPs and then used. They are not saying don't use, but first use OECD GLP terminology over there. So in addition to this, if you want to use FDA or EPA terminology, yes, you are free to do, but have that in place over there. In some facilities, the study director responsibilities and actions on return from long leave have not been covered in SOP. Obviously, replacement of study director and appointment of study director, you must cover this point as far as study director is on leave. What is the action you are going to take on that? A study director is the key point in a study, and these details would be needed, especially in long term studies. Obviously, in short term studies, it's okay, no problem. But in long term studies, you need to specify what is that you are going to take action when your study director is on long leave. So, obviously, this has to be mentioned in your SOP, it should be covered in your SOP over there. This is again a very important aspect nowadays. It is taken very seriously by NGCMA, and I have seen with one of the inspection over there, they were asking about appointing a deputy study director. So obviously there is no term available as far as deputy study director is concerned over there. So the term deputy or assistant to study director and backup study director responsibility, especially in a long-term studies. NGCMA, in case of long-term studies, the test facility should have a backup study director to ensure the continuity of study and quality and integrity of data. However, this position should be internally defined in your SOP. That's what I told you about this. The period of absence, emergency, long-term replacement, and process of communicating with study director, email, phone calls should be well in place and defined in your SOP. Obviously, this should be all described in your SOP over there. To continue with this, a study report should be mentioned, the report of period of duration where study director was present and where it was not present, where he or she was not present. That has to be mentioned, or who has taken care of study during the absence of study director over there. It has to be mentioned in study report. However, the test facility have to be clear that backup study director not take responsibilities of study director in the routine way, because because it says that GLP says that study director is only single point control. So obviously study director will take care. Your deputy study director will not become study director in a routine way over there. That's what GLP says, or NGCMA says for that matter. Raw data is not defined for computer system. That's what I told you about this. Each test facility should have clearly defined raw data for computerized system in its SOP. Maybe you are using simple Excel format for that matter for data analysis, calculating your standard deviation or mean and standard deviation. Obviously, that has to be your validated over there. So obviously you need to validate that, and then you can use that. Test facility should have clearly defined raw data for that matter. What is your computer system doing for you? It has to be clearly mentioned. This should be as per OECD GLP principle document number 17. Document number 17 has given all explanation on using computers and how you can make your data authorized for your test facility. Many master schedule do not give location of studies. This is one of the observation, because location has to be given in your master schedule, which room you are conducting which study. So obviously this is very very important as far as NGCMA is concerned. NGCMA has seen many master schedule, and then only they have given this observation. Since master schedule is to help determine capacity utilization, the location should be given. That's what NGCMA says over there. Now coming to 8 point, archiving of test and reference item. NGCMA says documents specify that sample be retained for 3 GLP certification cycle irrespective of its expiry date. Many people they ask also to me, how long we are supposed to keep our test item. It is expiring after 2 years. It is expiring after 3 years. Yes, but GLP says that 3 GLP cycles of their inspection, you are supposed to keep that in your facility irrespective of expiry date. That's what they say. This is very important information I'm giving to you. In some facilities observe that no study related work is slated for the days of the inspection. The inspection team has to make a judgment on GLP compliance based on only infrastructure and SOP. That's the reason I always say that when you plan your inspection, you should be having 1 or 2 studies conducted before this. They should be in archiving, and 1 or 2 studies should be running in your facility over there. This is the way you can plan your inspection over there. Or when they say they are coming for inspection, you can plan activity based on their requirement. NGCMA wants this. NGCMA in future will contact the facility and plan inspections only when there is ongoing study to observe. Similarly, lead inspector should inform the facility that the inspection team should be able to oversee, observe the work related to ongoing study. This is very very important as far as you and me are concerned over there. So you must plan your inspection based on ongoing studies, and because they want to see the activity going on over there, they want to see the dosing. All critical phases of your study, or 1 or 2 critical phases, you must keep on that particular day of GLP inspection over there. Many facilities, the animal handling during the conduct or during the dosing, carbon dioxide acidification is not found as per CPCSA norm. So obviously, while conducting GLP studies, I told you that all animals, all whatever you are using for your study should be as per CPCSA norms only. Even if at all you are buying or purchasing your animals, it should be CPCSA certified or approved facility for animal supply over there. So obviously you make sure that you work as per CPCA. CPCSA has a SOP for animal facility. Obviously you need to go through that and find out how you are using your facility as per SOP, CPCSA norms or not. Now, this is again very important aspect to discuss, because many a times we feel very offended for this. If the test facility has not undertaken all the types of studies it has asked for in the GLP application. You write in GLP application, we are doing teratology studies, we are doing reproduction studies, we are doing these studies, we are doing all that studies. And when they come for inspection and you don't have any studies conducted on this, they will not certify you in that particular area. Let me tell you that what NGCMA tells, let us understand that NGCMA is now giving details of test systems and types of studies in the certificate. That's the reason uh, they want to see what studies you can conduct, that will be highlighted in your in their certificate over there. If the facility has not done any study in a particular areas of expertise, will be withdrawn. If at all you have already got that and you have not done any study for verification uh, inspection, and they found that there is no study conducted, your certificate will be withdrawn from that particular area over there. This facility may apply for it subsequently in the surveillance inspection. So if you want, you can apply again, conduct the study and apply again for that matter. uh, 12th advisory over there: is TICO in charge to be identified as an independent individual, or can the study director be responsible for dispensing the test atom preparing to GLP studies? Obviously, GLP has a lot of objections for this. NGSMA, all GLP test facilities should have an independent TICO whose function should not be in conflict with conduct of GLP studies, because who will inspect then? If a study director is issuing the test atom, so who will inspect that particular activity? Study director cannot be handling test atom for his own study. So obviously that is what NGSMS says, that there should be independent. Even archiving should be independent person over there. TICO and archiving are very, very important departments in GLP over there. Presence of GLP consultants during the GLP inspection. They have objections on this. No consultant should be made a part of opening and closing meeting during inspection. Yes, you can have consultant, but during your opening meeting and closing meeting, there should not be any consultant for that. Awareness of study personnel about the test atom and in details. Yes, all study personnel should be aware of safe handling of test atom and dose route administration for that matter. Support service staff and GLP exposure. I always tell most of the people wherever I am helping them in getting GLP accreditation for that matter, even your cage washer should be aware of what he is doing over there. If at all he is using your detergent over there, or maybe any disinfectant over there, what concentration he is preparing, he should be aware of that. You should be aware of what is GLP is all about. So obviously, you need to have training for all your support staff over there. All support staff in GLP test facility should have an exposure to OECD principles of GLP and should be aware of the importance of GLP systems in national and international area. It is not only because you become international when you get GLP accreditation. Let me tell you that your reports will be accepted more than 34 countries over there. So obviously you become international when you have GLP accreditation in place in your facility. Obviously it is not this, there is no Indian GLP as such. There is only OECD GLP. Although we call it Indian GLP and Indian inspectors, yes, we have a different mentality, but as far as GLP is concerned, all rules and regulations are same all over the countries, 34 countries of OECD member countries over there. So obviously don't think about this, that there is a Indian GLP and there is a European GLP or OECD GLP for that matter. Now to sum up all 8 step implementation process. Step 1, training in OECD GLP principles, construct organization chart, prepare format for CV and JDs, start writing SOPs for CV, JDs and study plan. Step 2, continue training, focus on study director and quality assurance, write SOP for workflow studies, formats, reports. Step 3 is write SOP for instruments, prepare list of instruments, write quality assurance program, establish quality assurance unit, write SOPs and prepare formats for quality assurance audit. That is step 4. Or the step 5, establish TICO, define rules for test item receipt, identification, storage, and distribution. Step 6 is define raw data, write SOPs for data security and integrity over there, and prepare list of computers, do validation of computers. Basically, I suggest do validation for all the systems, whatever you are using for GLP for that. Train all staff in computer usage, write SOPs over there. And step 8 is quality assurance unit, review SOPs and its list, instrument list, organization chart, master schedule, because everything is ready now. Perform gap analysis, download application from NGCMA site and make the application to NGCMA for GLP accreditation process. Now, to sum up, we also have discussed impact important riders for consideration over there, and we also highlighted some NGCM advisories for test facilities which was available to me over there. So, obviously, thank you very much for patient hearing. If at all anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. In my capacity, whatever I am able to answer your questions, that will be better. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Hello. Hi, Shraddha. Good.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. How are you, sir?
Fine, fine. Jyoti is not joining today because she has some personal problem.
Okay, sir. Sir, I have one question actually.
Okay, tell me.
Sir, you mentioned like if you claim that you are doing so many studies, and in case when auditors comes and you haven't performed those particular studies, they might consider it too. Like they might not consider those things, and you have to reapply. So if we keep on doing in-house study, will it consider like
Yes,
will they
yes,
consider?
yes, 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 yes. You
Yeah.
must be doing some studies. There should be some data available in archiving. You should also plan your study when they are coming for inspection. That is
Okay.
always better. I always recommend that because nowadays our GLP, because as I told you that there is a difference between Indian GLP and OECD GLP is only this. So they will
Right.
consider what studies you have performed, what are you good at,
Hmm.
and then only
Right.
they will give you certificate over there. And because they will give the
Right.
list of studies what you conduct in your certificate over there, and what
Right.
animal systems you are using, that also they will specify in their certificate. So this is
Hmm.
very very important as far as India is concerned. I'm just focusing India, and based on Indian contest, I'm just uh, talking to you
Hmm.
about this.
Hmm. So
This
it's
is
not needed. Like you should have sponsored studies. It's not
not
needed.
necessary. Even you can sponsor your study, no? You can
Right. Right.
sponsor your study and get going with
Hmm.
that. You do any validation study and say that you have done that study over
Right,
there.
sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank
Okay. Well, this is very important as far as GLP is concerned. NGCMA
you.
considers
Hmm.
that.
Right.
Because what was happening in India, they say toxicity is testing. Certificate will be given for toxicity testing, and everybody was started doing all toxicity studies over there. So that is not correct also, uh, because we are saying toxicity is a very huge area. So obviously you need to specify what toxicity studies you are doing. You need to specify that over there.
Definitely, sir. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions from anybody?
So I request you everyone, please start your video for 1 minute. We will capture some photos for our memory. And if anyone has questions, please ask.
Can I just say a few words, please? This is Nishigandha
Yeah,
Naik.
yes,
I
madam.
just
Yes, madam. Can
thank you
you
so
just
much.
yes,
No, I just wanted to thank you for such informative. Every time I meet you in person and first time probably online, it was a great
yeah,
learning.
yeah.
Today, along with me, some of my students are also there. I'm sure they also must have liked it. And really, you are a great asset to this toxicology field. I must say that. Thank you very
Yeah, yeah.
much.
Thank you very much. Uh, for all of you, I just wanted to tell you, Dr. Nishiganda Naik was director Hafkin Institute. She is a ex-director of Hafkin Institute, and she is attending our webinar this time. So obviously, and then Dr. Rajesh Kumar Sharma ji is also there, who is very experienced. He said he is having more than me experience over there. So obviously, Doctor साहब आपका परिचय दे दीजिए ना. आपको अनम्यूट करना पड़ेगा, आपको अनम्यूट करना पड़ेगा. हेलो मैडम. Yeah.
Hello.
Well, yeah. Nice to see you. Okay.
Same here.
Very nice. After a very long time, very long time.
Yes, very true. I think
Very-
COVID has just
Yeah,
restricted all
yeah,
of us
really,
at
really.
one
For
place.
since last 1 year, I'm in the house only. I'm not going out anywhere because I lost my brother. You know, my younger brother I lost due to Corona.
Oh,
Ah,
oh,
it's very
sorry to
sad.
hear. I
yeah,
wasn't aware at all.
yeah,
Very sad, sir.
very.
I think sometime we should at least chat on phone.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll
definitely,
do
definitely.
that.
Yeah, yeah. So you are still busy then? Yeah, okay.
A
Yeah.
bit, not much.
Good, 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 good.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. I will remain in
Thanks.
touch with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me. Just a couple of questions for Dr. Deshmukh.
Yeah.
Sir, thank you very much for this wonderful presentation.
Okay.
One question I had was like, what security do we need to provide for the archiving? Like, is there any security measures?
Security measures means you must be protected from your fire, fighting, all this. You
Mm-hmm.
must have security as far as entry and exit is concerned. Your door should not be, uh, it should be pakka door over there, and you should have lock and key every time. It should not be open. Access should not be there for
Mm-hmm.
everyone over there. All security measures like security as far as facility is concerned different. I'm not talking about facility security
Okay.
of your data is very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Security of your specimens and all this is very important for GLP over there,
Yeah.
because you need to keep it for minimum of 9 years. So obviously 9 years to keep data and specimen has to be in a protected place over there. It should be protected from vandalism, because there is a every
And yes,
uh,
this is the problem actually, sir.
yeah, vandalism is there, then you have problems of fire, you have electrical short circuits, all these things should be protected for there. That security has to be in place. Apart from security from theft and all this, I'm not talking about theft over there, because who
Yeah.
will take away all these papers? Nobody will take
Mm-hmm.
away, where it is
Mm-hmm.
ready for them. But
Mm-hmm.
that is important for all of us over there, and nobody is
Okay.
allowed only because of this, because confidentiality has to be maintained as far as sponsor is concerned over there, or your test substance is concerned. Otherwise no pharma company will come and place studies with you over there, because you need
Okay.
to keep confidentiality of the compound over there, test item, because that is
Okay.
very important for them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And one last question, sir.
Yeah.
How do we validate computer systems like laptops and other things?
It's
Yeah.
very simple, madam, because nobody tells you about this. Simple.
Mm-hmm.
You have manual calculation, you have computer calculation, match that, prepare a report of that, keep it in your file, and say that you have validated that. Even if at all you are using Excel sheet over there, and you need to validate that. You are using
Mm-hmm.
calculation,
Yeah.
you need to calculate that manually and calculate with computers, say that that is matching over there, and prepare a report of that and keep it in your file.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry to hear about your brother's demise. My condolences to you and family.
Thank you, thank you, thank
Yeah.
you, thank you. Who is there?
Yes, Sridhar sir is
Okay, okay, okay,
hand raise किया है उन्होंने. Yes
okay,
sir.
okay,
Please.
okay. Hello, Dr. Sridhar. Tell me. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. You are muted. आवाज नहीं आ रही है उनकी.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
How many years it require for any study the archives to store the data, sir?
9 years, I told you,
9
sir.
years.
9 years.
Oh, after that they can dispose the study, sir.
No. You are not supposed to dispose on your own. There are 3 options available to you. You can ask your sponsor to take away all your data, or you can also ask them if at all they don't want their data, you can destroy that, or you can extend the period of archiving over there. These are 3 options available to you. You can choose any of them with the consent from sponsor, because archiving it's not a business in India, but it is a big business in US and America over there.
Even in
Europe.
UK, sir. Even in
UK,
UK
yeah,
and
it's a big
especially in
business.
Germany and Holland.
Keeping one file in your cupboard, it takes a lot of things over there. So obviously you need to charge them. So obviously based on the data, based on your files, you can charge your sponsor for extending your archiving period.
Sir, you know Dr. Balakrishna Murthy, sir?
Obviously he is a good friend of mine.
I worked as a scientist ecotoxicology and plant pathology, sir.
Yeah, okay.
2009 and 2011.
Okay. He is good friend. We are contemporary actually. We worked very hard in establishing.
Vasantraj David, sir, Dr. Vasantraj David.
Vasantraj David, also I know him. He is my guru, obviously. Yeah.
He worked in JE Research Laboratories in Ahmedabad.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you for your nice presentation and informative session, sir.
Okay.
The next session, it will be in the month of June.
Yeah.
Obviously, on Saturday, it is okay, sir.
Yeah. Saturday, we are planning 7 to 9. As you said, 7 to 9, we are going with that. So obviously, we'll see how best we can make it. So it should be suitable for Akash. Akash is organizer. So obviously, I will have to ask him, and he will take care of that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sridhar. Actually, it is good for us. Good for
Okay,
me.
sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else wants to have any question or just share?
Right now, it was very detailed description, and further whenever any.
I want to have one announcement for all of you over here. This is the webinar series number 1. We have conducted 12 webinars. We have conducted in this series. Obviously, there are some suggestions from various people that timings were not suitable for them over there, and they should be on weekends also, on not working day. So we are planning for next webinar series. Maybe we will start in June somewhere, maybe middle of June over there. We will have some breathing time in between over there, and it will be elaborate, activities will be taken place over there. We will also add animal facility. We will have necropsy. We will have, various other aspects which were not dealt during this webinars over there. So there are a number of suggestions. We got it from our participants, and they're our well-wishers. So obviously we will look into that and we will plan accordingly.
And definitely, sir, we will be glad to hear you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, Rohini, you have any question?
No, sir. Thank you very much for your so very some you give us a suggestion to improve ourselves, and each and when I hear your each and every webinar, I think I must have to improve on some points. So thank you very much for that.
This was given to you earlier.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But so still I can refresh my knowledge or our
Yes,
knowledge. So it will help a lot.
definitely.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a lot. Kishori नाही का आज?
Actually, today I was not very
madam,
sorry for it, sir.
Huh?
I was not very attentive today. I was doing some other work along with your webinar.
Okay,
So
okay.
I have no questions today. I will make up in the next one.
Thanks, Kishori. You are there. That's okay. Your presence is enough for me.
So there are, as usual, you give very good
Yes.
suggestions and very excellent. So
Okay, thank you very much.
don't worry about that, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
That is all. Otherwise, it was excellent as usual.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Then, Akash, you finish your job?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Then we will finish today's this thing. We will close.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
Shraddha,
Bye, everybody.
Shraddha,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
in vitro to next webinar, you will have to cover that. Maybe I will give you some additional responsibility also.
Sure, sir. Definitely.
So when
sir.
you are
Definitely.
shifting to Canada, you just let me know. And time difference is very important for me. With
Yes,
you,
sir.
the time difference in Canada and India, again we will have to
Yes.
match that. So
So
7 to
I'm
9.
going to the American time zone only because it's very nearby. I'm going to like Ontario only. So
Okay.
it will be same for me. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm moving on first week. Like third is my flight actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we will be starting somewhere around 12th of June. So just
Definitely.
say to that by that time you are settled and one or two
Yes, sir.
webinars will be over. Then we will
Yeah.
consider your.
Sure, sir. So
Okay.
it's a very kind of you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Akash.
everybody. Bye.
Thanks,
Take
Akash.
care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Akash, you want to say something?
No, sir.
No,
It's all.
ठीक है.
Yeah, just thank you all participants for giving love for 12 weeks. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Akash.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.